This time we're doing tradition with a twist. Our homeowners want to dress up their basic brick house.
So how do you do traditional without boring?
Just wait and see. Bringing color to a colonial.
It's up, it's looking really blue and a little shocking to me.
And a back-to-nature look for any front yard. The Wason family loved to play with the neighbors in front of their 1981 split-level colonial.
They pretty much run all over the cul-de-sac.
There's always somebody coming by and saying hello. It's a real social street.
The house looks nice, a big entry, a shady front yard, but the brick with black trim looks kind of basic. The concrete steps and railroad ties aren't very inviting, and for such a big yard, there's not much landscaping to make it stand out. So because you guys like to hang out in front of your house all the time, you probably notice curb appeal every day, right?
We notice a lack of it.
Is there something that you'd like to change in particular?
Absolutely. The front walkway, the concrete walkway, and the railroad ties have got to go.
Yeah, those railroad ties kind of give it that rustic log cabin feel, which probably doesn't work with your brick colonial house, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have a designer that's going to be perfect for you guys. Are you ready to meet her?
We'd love to meet her.
All right, let's get to work.
Are you ready for some color? We're ready. What do you have for us?
Lots of good stuff. I mean, you guys have a great house to start with.
Designer Paige Rian is excited to get some interest going on the front of this home.
The home is a nice colonial split-level home. My first order of business is to add color and also make the yard a little bit more usable so they can have a place for their family. So are you guys blue people or red people?
We're definitely blue people. Yeah.
And I'd like to use some blues that are a little updated, not sort of your boring colonial blue, but something a little more creative with a little more energy.
We'd like to see that.
Sure.
The kids play a lot of sports out right here on the driveway, and so I usually sit on the stairs here, you know, and watch them or throw balls back. It would be nice to have some kind of maybe a bench or a big rock.
You know, what we could do is put some flagstones here and a couple chairs, so this is your seating area.
I love that idea.
John and Betsy have been married 19 years, but because they've been a military family, this is their very first home.
This is the first opportunity that we've really had to, put a lot of, love, sweat, and tears into to where we live.
To customize it and to make it feel like it's our home means a lot to us.
It gives me a good feeling of designing something that will help them, make their family life even better.
Here's the plan. The old shutters will go. New ones, in eye-catching blue, will fit the windows better. For more color, the front doors will go yellow. We'll cover the concrete entry with stone for a rich look, with a curved path, and curved stone terraces to hold back the hillside. By the entry, a stone patio for a nice seating area, maybe a pair of Adirondack chairs. And a colorful new garden will soften the house and all the new stonework.
We're ready to enjoy the neighborhood.
Looks great.
All right.
It'll be the place to be for your whole block, I promise.
We're dealing with a slope, so landscape designer Kevin Ganley's working in hickory gray flagstone walls to even out the grade changes.
Aesthetically, I think it's a real attractive medium to use in the landscape. It's very natural, and the earth tones fit in nicely with any plantings and mulch.
In go large stones for stairs, for an inviting casual look. Betsy and John want to keep things informal, so the front walk gets a welcoming curve in Chinese flagstone.
So this was the most important part of the project for me, was the hardscape, what type of stone to pick out. And I picked out the Chinese stone. The team got together, and that's what we ended up going with.
When you are picking stone out, what should we be looking for?
I think with all the choices, you want to think about how manicured or formal a look you're after, or how casual and sort of rustic. Also, what colors do you already have present in your property, and whether it's brick or the driveway, making sure that everything blends nicely and you incorporate the colors that are already there.
Setting everything in sand, like the new patio, helps keep the budget down. Plus, it'll expand and contract in hot and cold weather, so you don't have to worry about cracks when the seasons change. At the end of the day, even the old concrete steps have a stone veneer.
Whoa, that looks great. When I came up the driveway and saw the stonework, I was floored. Cannot believe this is our house.
Meanwhile, Betsy and John cruise for plants with landscape designer Kevin Ganley. They want an informal look out front, so Kevin steers them towards grasses.
We have some of the green liripe grasses. It's a nice low grower. It'll soften up all the rock work that we've got out there, I think, nicely.
Another plus, these will hold up through the winter.
Is this going to get really tall or out of control, or how are we going to take care of it?
It gets to the same height every year. And you cut it to the ground in the winter, it gets back to 18 inches by late summer.
You ever had grass in the yard that you didn't have to mow?
If you have a lot of stonework you want to soften in your landscape, consider ornamental grasses. These will look great against the new rock walls at John and Betsy's house. All's fine until he shows them miscanthus. That grows to 7 feet.
I'm not sure I want it taking up a big 7 feet tall in front of the side of the house. It just didn't appeal to me at all.
Betsy has a creative gene, so I'll just do all the yard work and let her decide which plants she likes.
I think it's just going to look too much to me like a weed.
Instead, he shows them a hardy kind of hydrangea that'll produce nice white flowers.
As it grows, it's a much fuller flowering shrub with beautiful blooms in late summer that also make a great dried flower.
It goes dormant in the winter, but greens up every spring without a fuss.
I like this much better than the grass.
They're easy to dry. Just cut the flowers in late summer and put them in a vase without water.
One interesting part of the design that we really liked that we hadn't thought of was the butterfly garden.
This is the butterfly bush that I've chosen for your butterfly garden to the left side of the driveway, and they do in fact draw butterflies.
This will add to the nature theme out front even more.
The color that Kevin chose for us, the purple, was definitely the best.
Back at the house, the crew finishes more walls around the patio. It's terracing that doubles as extra seating. In front of the house, Kevin adds perennial hostas and ferns, so they'll come back every spring. The Nandina leaves will turn red in the fall. Grasses and black-eyed Susan soften the wall. And on the left side of the drive, the butterfly garden.
So I'm loving this idea of a butterfly garden. Tell me how one puts one together.
Well, there are a number of perennials that will draw butterflies. In this case, we're going to use some coreopsis and some coneflowers, and of course you have to have a butterfly bush.
Where did the butterflies come from?
They'll come from the surroundings. When you plant the flowers, they'll find them.
Oh, I see. You can't just go to the local garden center and pick some up.
I'm afraid not.
You know, the way this house is transforming into something beautiful, it's sort of like a butterfly. Minus that messy cocoon and larva phase.
Coming up, color to give your home a tranquil feel.
Ah, relaxing.
And more ways to bring nature right onto a house.
People don't normally think to do this, but we're thinking.
This project's taking flight. Next. While work continues on this nature-themed makeover, we help Mother Nature out.
Fly, butterflies!
Releasing butterflies into the new butterfly garden.
Fly, little butterfly.
You know what's kind of neat is that the colors of this butterfly kind of match the colors of your house. Did you plan that?
I don't think so.
Oh.
We're all about bringing nature to the curb. Meanwhile, at the front steps, our leaf-themed mosaic goes up.
I am blown away by the mosaic. It's unique, nobody else has it, and Valerie did such a good job with the colors and the design.
Adding detail to a step riser is a great way to dress up any front entry. The mortar has an additive that'll keep this work of art from cracking in the cold weather. It's hot today, so they have to get it in place before the mortar dries.
It was very stressful. You could ruin it in an hour by having it stick the wrong way or not stick at all.
So I thought that creating it was the only delicate part, but installing it takes some talent too.
There was a lot of finger work involved, a lot of thumb pressing. That was my little contribution.
The last touch, leaf tiles to carry the design through the whole walkway.
It's beautiful.
This house has the right amount of color, and the yard is a great looking place to hang out. What could be better? I'll tell you what, sticking around to find out how this place turns out.
When we come back, you'll get to see how adding color and natural elements adds up to unbelievable style from the curb. Next.
We have a family that loved the outdoors, but didn't love the front of their home. Now with a little curb appeal, they can hang out in front to their heart's content.
After 20 years of moving around, the Wasons finally had a home of their own. They wanted to jazz up the brick, the black, and the blah feel out front. They changed their basic tract home from been there, done that, to a whole new outlook from the curb, full of color, nature, and a yard that's home sweet, oh so proud of it home. The black trim's been livened up with cobalt blue and sunny yellow, so you really notice the place. The railroad tie entry was looking kind of sad. Now, it's completely transformed with the rich look of stone. The stonework carries over to the retaining walls and patio, pulling the whole yard together in welcoming style. Now there's a casual place to sit and enjoy family and neighbors out front. All the nature-inspired details give the home personality. The mosaics, the garage murals, and even the house address numbers have serene style. Don't forget the colorful garden, window boxes, and handmade touches. It's a makeover that brings nature and one-of-a-kind style right to the curb.
Isn't this great? I love the changes in the house so much.
It's great. It's fantastic, the change that it went through.
One of the favorite parts for me is the stone patio.
And then how that stone field basically expanded to the whole rest of the landscaping.
It was wonderful that we were able to maintain a really casual, rustic, playful feel, and yet use so many great materials. A lot of people get new shutters, paint their front door, invest in landscaping, but I wanted to do all of that and more for Betsy and John. I wanted to add some creative touches and really put their personality into their curb appeal. I wanted to be able to say, look, these guys are outdoorsy, they're artistic, and put that into some of these features.
Through the whole process, I think what I learned most was to reach outside my comfort zone a little bit, and just working with Paige and Kevin and the crew gave me new ideas, and it kind of gave me the confidence to test out some things that I would never have gone with.
This is the first house we'd ever bought. You know, we've moved around pretty much for 20 years being in the military.
Now we finally have a home. It's ours, and it reflects our personalities and what we like. So it's really a good feeling. Perfect.
That's right.
You guys really had to change a lot and take a big leap of faith. Definitely go out of your comfort zone, right?
I think that when we started, we never could have imagined, that it would turn out so well. And yeah, it was a step out of the comfort zone, but the new comfort zone feels good.
All right, guys, it's time to set them free, shall we? Push off.
There we go. There we go.
Guys,
Fly, be free.
Just be
Set 'em free.
Time to go.